Republican Florida Governor Ron DeSantis gave a press conference this week that made headlines because, of course, the crowd started chanting, "Let's go, Brandon." But if everybody had moved past the idiotic, chant, they would have been even more horrified by what DeSantis announced at that press conference that, for some reason, isn't getting much attention. Again, I think it's because everybody's focused on the "Let's go, Brandon," because conservatives are too wimpy to just curse. If you want to say F Joe Biden, just say it. Nobody cares. You're not hurting our feelings. But either way, what DeSantis announced at this press conference was that he was forming a new government entity here in the state of Florida that he says is going to be fully funded and fully staffed. And they're going to be election police. That's what they are, election police. And their sole mission is going to be to go around and find people who've committed voter fraud. And as DeSantis said, I guarantee you this, the first person that gets caught, no one is going to want to do it after that. But are you going to kill him? What are you going to do? That's crazy talk. Especially considering that just a couple months ago, you actually did another press conference where you talked about how Florida's elections were fair and free and safe, and there was no fraud. So what happened in the meantime between the two? Oh, I know. You got pressured by the Trump people. Donald Trump wants the states to be audited, even states that he won. Sabatini, down in South Florida, state congressman, has called for certain counties, the ones that Biden won here in the state of Florida, to be audited. Roger Stone did the segment yesterday, said if DeSantis doesn't audit the state, I may have to run against him as a libertarian in 2022. So DeSantis, feeling the heat, but knowing he can't risk an Arizona-like debacle over here in Florida, decided to come up with a compromise. I'll indulge your fantasies of voter fraud, and I'll also show that I'm a good police, supporting guy, so I'm just going to make election police. This ends badly for the state of Florida. The state of Florida has a horrid history, by the way, of voter suppression, and more importantly, voter purges. And I fear that that is what we could see a hell of a lot more of with these new election police, because what they do is very sloppy work. And it's sloppy intentionally. I've explained it before. I'm going to explain it again. You take a name of somebody that's not eligible to vote. Farron Cousins, for example. I am eligible to vote. But let's say you look up the name Farron Cousins because you say Farron Cousins can't vote. Then you find all 5 Farron Cousinses in the state of Florida, and you say, okay, they're all Farron Cousins, they all can't vote. And the person doesn't realize it till they show up to vote. They're told you can't vote, you might be able to fill out a provisional ballot, but basically they're going to intimidate you, possibly even harass you to the point where you just leave without voting. And of course, this overwhelmingly happens to African Americans here in the state of Florida and Democrats. And there's a huge overlap between those two groups. This is what they do. And I have no doubt that this is going to be one of the first things the election police get to work on here in the state of Florida, is purging as many Democrats from the voting rolls as possible just because their names happen to match somebody that's not eligible to vote. It's sneaky, it's underhanded, it's wrong, but hey, that's the state of Florida in 2021.